Hi all and welcome to a new over under X goals software update. I'm calling this version 1.0.30 and that's because it's basically had quite a major addition to it. I'm still not calling it version 2 though. I can't get to that one yet. But basically I've done some updates which are quite extensive for the software. Now the last video I shot which was some months ago. We've had a lot of updates since then, so this video is going to kind of cover those updates and obviously all the new features that we've got to look at as well. So I'm going to start off with the major update I've done, which is the select markets and multi-select markets. So if we click on this, before you could only select one market at a time on the over under Xbot, but now you can select multiple markets, and when we talk about markets we're talking about over under 0.5 goals, 1.5 goals, 2.5, that sort of thing, first half goals, and both teams to score as well. And whereas everything used to be on the front screen for one strategy, so basically in the old version you could only do one of these at a time, everything's moved into this box now, so that we can change basically what we want. So if we want to lay the over under 0.5 goals, we can, and we can change it to the unders if we wanted to do that. If we wanted to do something completely different on one of the other goal markets, we can do that. So it's given us a lot more flexibility in the markets that we can go on, the prices and the price ranges. I will say one thing, but this will come to when we look at split staking, that stakes become a little bit more important if you are split staking, but I'll come to that in a minute. But basically now you can set your minimum and maximum price for each market and your required odds that you want to go in at the market at. So for an example, if we went into the over 5 goals market and the current price was 1.02, it would place a bet into the market at 1.06 ready to get matched. But if the price was 1.06, it would still place the bet into the market, but it would be matched as well. And even as long as the price is between these two, it will place that bet into the market and it will get matched at whatever price is available at that time. So it could be 1.46 in effect. But it does mean now that you can be a lot more flexible in how you want to bet, how many markets you want to bet on, and that kind of thing. So it makes it a lot more interesting and should hopefully be a lot more useful that way. So I'm going to click a few of these because I want to show you something else. In fact, I'll click 3. So remember those stakes and everything else, they're obviously going to be important because they're the stakes you put into the market. Now the other update we've had recently is the auto or manual select. So the bot generally selects markets automatically. So when a market hits your set filters, your price ranges, that kind of thing, the bot will choose it and bet on that market. But you can manually select as well. Now, manually selecting the markets takes a little bit longer because there can be a lot of markets. But if we select this, it's got load all markets regardless of filters. Now, the reason we've got that is that you may want to load markets that don't meet your filters just to see them, and then select ones that might meet your filters later on. But you can do either or. Now you'll notice this is taking a little bit of time, and I really need to kind of put something on screen to show you that it's taken a little bit of time to load. But once it's loaded in, you can see all the markets. Now, if you'll notice that it's actually giving you the markets that are available based on our other screen, our select market screen. So 0, 1, 1.5, 2.5. It'll show you the markets that are available. So on this particular match, all 4 of them are available. On this particular match, sorry, all 3 of them available. On this particular match, only 2 of them are available. The 0.5 market's already gone. So you can select this way as well. and you can select your markets, but it will use your settings within the select market box. But you can select your matches here, and you can select your markets, but it still will use the information within there. And it tells you things like the match volume, current back bets, that kind of thing, countries and stuff. So you've got a lot of information there. So basically you can select your markets, and so I selected 3 markets that I like, save and use these matches, and you can see it's got 3 selected markets. Now, okay, so split staking is the next thing, where we can now time our stakes into the market. So if we go back to select the markets and say, for instance, we've got £1 here on the under 1.5 goals, and we get matched, what the bot will do is we'll split that stake by 4 in this particular case, which would be 25 pence, and then every 10 minutes it would place a new bet into the market. And so it will place the first 25 pence in this particular case. Then 10 minutes later, if that market is still current and you haven't won or lost on it, it will place the next part of that bet, and so on and so forth. It's a way of kind of trying to improve your overall odds in the market when you get the time to do it, or it's available to you. So classic is the over 0.5 goal market. That tends to be very low at the start, 1.05 or whatever it is. But as time goes on, that might go up a little bit. So instead of just getting 1.05, you could get 1.07, 1.09, even 1.12 or something. I don't know. And then add all those together. And then when the goal does come maybe in the second half, then your overall odds are higher than they would have been if you just placed the bet at the beginning of the match. The only issue with using that kind of scenario is, obviously, if the bet gets matched early, or if the market closes early, then you won't have your full stake on. You only have part of your stake, but that might be a good thing or bad thing. I don't know. That's up to you, obviously. But the thing to watch out for is Betfair have, when you go for auto betting, Betfair have this what they call no unfair rule. And basically, if the prices are low and the stake is low, sometimes because of the way it adds up, it gives you this really strange figure, and Betfair just don't like it, and they reject the bet. So if you're going £1 by 4, that's the one I found I get the most problems with. Generally, if I went 3, that wouldn't be a problem. If I went £1.50, it generally is not a problem. It seems to be they don't like the 25 pence on 1.04 and 5 and stuff like that. So that's generally where I get the issue. So if you're not getting bets, that might be one thing that you might want to have a quick look at. ACCA is another thing we've improved. You can obviously do as many ACCAs as you like. Generally, it's on 1 bet at a time. Don't choose multiple bets. Just do 1 bet at a time. It gets a bit confused with doing more than 1 ACCA. I am working on that, but at the moment it's best to just do 1 ACCA at a time. But you can now auto reset ACCAs. So what happens here is every time an ACCA is successful or fails, so if I selected 3 in this case and I had 3 successful bets, that would be a successful ACCA, or one of them lost, that would be an unsuccessful ACCA. The bot will reset and try again, and it will keep trying 1, 2 and 3, or 2, whatever you want to put in here, until you meet your stop profit or stop loss, or until you stop the bot or whatever. But basically it allows you to keep going with ACCAs. If you've got a system that works relatively well with them, then it will just carry on doing them continually until it hits one of those stop profit or stop loss. We still need the time low and start time high. This is when we go into a match. So if we set the filters and we've got in play only, then that's when it will check the market between 0 and 60 minutes. If we untick that and say, then it will look at the time before the off. So basically, if you could go in 5 minutes before the off, or 1 minute before the off, and it will look for those. There is one thing I want to put on here, is actually to go in automatically, to go in play as well, if it's not matched beforehand. But at the moment you don't really need it. You're either going to go before the off or you're going to go in play. I mean, if I'm doing it, I generally go in play, because 0-0 is generally in play straight away anyway, so I tend to stick to that. But you've got those options if you want to. And I think that is about it. Obviously you can back and lay and the percentage of bank. I am looking at adding more features as far as the type of bet, so liability and things like that need to be added, and will be soon. But I think that pretty much covers all the new filters and features. So hopefully you will find it more useful now that you can select multiple markets at one time, and manually select the matches, obviously, and the split staking. I tend to use that reasonably amount of time now, especially when testing, because it's quite good, and you often just get a little bit more out of the 0.05 market, or any of the markets actually, if you use it. So it's worth playing around with. And that is it. As always, if you like the video, please just like it and give me the thumbs up and that kind of thing. And I will see you in the next video. See you soon. Bye bye.